You become exactly what you think about. These words sound simple, but within them lies a truth that has shaped every great life, every towering achievement, and every lasting legacy. The mind is not a passive observer of your world. It is the architect, the designer, the silent builder that is constantly at work, laying the foundation of your tomorrow through the thoughts you hold today. Every single idea that you entertain is a seed, and those seeds, whether of fear or of faith, whether of failure or success, eventually sprout and bear fruit in the circumstances of your life. The question is never whether you are planting seeds, but rather, what kind of seeds are you choosing to plant? Think about it. From the moment you open your eyes in the morning until you close them at night, your mind is generating images, stories, and expectations. If those stories are filled with doubt, if those images are painted with scarcity and limitation, then you are instructing your subconscious to create more of the same. If, however, those thoughts are lined with determination, colored with abundance, and filled with the vision of who you want to become, then you are commanding your inner world to shape reality in that direction. The law is impartial. It does not play favorites. It does not care whether you think thoughts of greatness or thoughts of defeat. It simply takes whatever you feed it and turns it into form. This is why some people seem to climb effortlessly towards success, while others remain stuck. It is not luck, nor is it chance. It is the relentless law that the mind becomes what it continually dwells upon. You are the product of your dominant thoughts. If you wish to change your life, you must first change what occupies your mind. And this, though it sounds easy, requires discipline, intention, and practice. Because the world is filled with distractions. Every headline, every opinion, every negative comment can be a seed if you allow it into your soil. And if you don't guard your mental garden, weeds grow faster than flowers. Imagine your thoughts like a spotlight on a dark stage. Whatever you focus on, no matter how small or distant, grows larger, brighter, and more powerful in your perception. Focus long enough, and that object takes center stage, dominating your experience. If you focus on problems, they expand. If you focus on opportunities, they multiply. If you focus on who you want to become, day after day, with clarity and conviction, your mind cannot help but sculpt your habits, your choices, and your actions into alignment with that vision. Now, understand this. The process is not instant. No seed blooms the same day it is planted. There is always an incubation period, a season of unseen growth. And this is where most people give up. They plant the seed of success for a few days, maybe a week, maybe even a month. And when the harvest doesn't arrive quickly, they abandon it and start planting seeds of doubt instead. But the mind, like the soil, works silently and steadily. It is always faithful to the seeds it receives. If you want to reap the rewards of greatness, you must hold your vision long enough for it to take root and bear fruit. Think about the stories of those who changed the world. Edison, failing 1,000 times before the light bulb became real. Mandela, holding a vision of freedom through decades of imprisonment. Oprah, carrying the belief of her worth when the world told her otherwise. None of these lives were built overnight. They were built through years of holding a dominant thought, protecting it fiercely, nurturing it daily, and refusing to let contrary images take over. They became exactly what they thought about. And the truth is, so will you. You cannot escape it. You are not an exception. The mind is not selective. It is obedient. If you think constantly about your fears, about what could go wrong, about what you lack, then that is what you are programming yourself to experience. If, on the other hand, you deliberately direct your focus toward faith, possibility, resilience, and abundance, then you are programming yourself for growth. It's not about pretending challenges don't exist. It's about deciding which thoughts will dominate, which stories will lead, and which vision will be allowed to guide your steps. Picture two people facing the same storm. One sees only destruction. The other sees a chance to rebuild stronger. The storm is the same, but the outcome is not, because the mind filters reality through the lens of its dominant thought. This is why two people can walk through identical circumstances and end up in completely different places. One becomes bitter, the other becomes better. The deciding factor is not the event, but the interpretation. And interpretation is nothing more than thought in action. So I ask you, what are you allowing to dominate your thoughts today? Are you replaying yesterday's failures? Are you rehearsing future fears? Or are you consciously designing a new inner blueprint of success, peace, and purpose? Because whether you are deliberate or careless, the process is happening. You are becoming what you think about, whether you like it or not. The only choice you have is whether you will do it with intention or by default. Let me give you an image to hold. Imagine your mind is a movie projector. Every thought is a frame of film. Whatever reel you choose to play over and over becomes the movie of your life. Some people unknowingly keep playing horror films of fear, tragedy, and limitation, and then they wonder why their reality feels terrifying. Others consciously choose to play stories of courage, triumph, and beauty, and as a result, they live inside a film that inspires not only themselves, but everyone who watches. What reel are you choosing? What film are you projecting into your future? The law cannot be escaped. You become what you think about. And when you truly accept this, life changes. Suddenly, idle thoughts no longer feel harmless because you know they carry creative power. Suddenly, focus becomes precious because you realize that every moment of concentration is a step toward building your destiny. Suddenly, guarding your mind becomes as important as guarding your home because you will not allow just anything to enter. Suddenly, you recognize that the greatest work of your life is not in the outer hustle, but in the inner shaping of thought. You are the director. You are the gardener. You are the architect. And your mind is always listening. The invitation is simple. Decide today what you want to become, and then begin to think it, feel it, and see it until it becomes unavoidable. Plant the seed, water it daily, refuse to pull it up to check if it's growing, and trust that the harvest will come, because it always does. No exceptions. Most people underestimate just how powerful a single thought can be when repeated and reinforced. They believe change must come from some massive external breakthrough, a lucky break, or a dramatic turning point. But the truth is, the most life-altering transformations usually begin quietly, almost invisibly, inside the mind. A thought repeated becomes a belief. A belief repeated becomes a conviction. And a conviction lived becomes a destiny. What starts as an inner whisper eventually becomes the loudest voice guiding your steps. This is why it is said that the greatest battles are not fought in the world, but in the mind. Win the battle of thought, and life aligns with victory. Think about how habits are formed. No one decides overnight to become disciplined or disorganized. Instead, a single action repeated enough times becomes automatic. Thoughts work the same way. A single idea entertained often enough becomes habitual, and once a thought is a habit, it no longer requires effort to influence you. This is why negativity is so dangerous. It doesn't need your permission once it becomes your default. But the opposite is also true. Positive vision, once habitual, no longer requires constant struggle. It becomes your natural state. Imagine waking up and automatically expecting good things, automatically scanning for opportunities instead of problems, automatically believing in your worth instead of doubting it. That is the result of thought discipline. And the person who learns this discipline holds in their hands the keys to unlimited growth. But the world around you won't make it easy. Everywhere you turn, distractions compete for your attention. Social media feeds you a constant diet of comparison. News headlines bombard you with fear. Voices around you insist that your dreams are unrealistic, your vision too ambitious. If you allow these influences to shape your dominant thoughts, you will unconsciously live out someone else's vision instead of your own. Guarding your mind doesn't mean isolation. It means discernment. It means deciding with intention what gets to enter, what gets to stay, and what must be rejected. You wouldn't let just anyone dump trash into your living room, so why allow anyone to dump garbage into your mental space? Protect your thoughts as fiercely as you protect your home, because they determine the quality of your life. Consider this. Your subconscious mind does not filter truth from lies. It accepts whatever is repeated with emotion and conviction. If you constantly tell yourself you are unworthy, it believes you. If you constantly affirm you are capable, it believes that too. The subconscious is the fertile soil. Repetition is the watering. Emotion is the sunlight. Together, they grow whatever you plant. And when you realize this, you understand that affirmations, visualizations, and positive self-talk are not silly tricks. They are tools for reprogramming the subconscious to serve your highest vision instead of your lowest fear. The athletes who imagine their performance before stepping on the field, the leaders who picture success before walking into a negotiation, if you truly want to understand the depth of this principle that you become exactly what you think about, you must begin by tracing your life back to the patterns of thought that built it. Look at your present circumstances, your career, your relationships, your financial state, your health. Behind every one of these areas lies a chain of thoughts repeated so often that they became beliefs, and those beliefs became actions, and those actions created outcomes. For some, this realization is painful. They see areas of struggle and realize they themselves planted the seeds. For others, this realization is empowering. They look at their progress and know it was no accident. It was the result of disciplined thinking. In either case, the conclusion is the same. The mind is the architect, and the life is the building. Take a struggling relationship as an example. If your constant thought is, "They don't appreciate me," your behavior will reflect that. You'll grow resentful, you'll interpret neutral actions as negative, and you'll radiate frustration. Over time, the relationship will decay, not because of fate, but because of the thoughts that shaped your behavior. Now contrast that with a different thought. "I am loved, and I give love freely." This thought shapes entirely different behaviors. Kindness, patience, openness. Over time, the relationship strengthens. Nothing mystical, just cause and effect through thought. Or, take finances. If your dominant thought is, "Money is scarce and hard to come by," you will unconsciously repel opportunities. You'll hesitate. You'll avoid risk. You'll distrust abundance. Your actions will mirror scarcity, and scarcity will be your reality. But if your thought is, "Money flows to me as I create value," your behaviors shift. You seek ways to create, to contribute, to innovate. You see opportunities where others see obstacles. The same world, but two different minds, and therefore two different financial outcomes. This truth is why Napoleon Hill, in his teachings, emphasized definiteness of purpose. Without a clear purpose, your thoughts scatter like leaves in the wind. One day you think about success, the next you dwell on failure. One day you imagine abundance, the next you fear poverty. Scattered thoughts create scattered results. But when you fix your mind on a clear purpose and discipline it daily, you harness a force so powerful that circumstances bend to it. Your purpose becomes a magnet, pulling resources, people, and opportunities into alignment with your vision. But discipline of thought does not mean rigidity. Life will always throw challenges, unexpected turns, and delays. Discipline means that no matter the storm, your inner compass remains fixed. Think of a ship at sea. Winds may shift, waves may rise, storms may rage, but the captain keeps the course set toward the destination. Discipline of thought is that inner captain. Even when outer circumstances try to knock you off track, your inner dialogue keeps saying, "I will arrive." That certainty, that unshakable belief, is what keeps you moving forward when others give up. Now here is something important. Belief is not pretending. Belief is training the mind until it accepts something as true. Many people try to affirm things they don't actually believe, and the subconscious rejects it. The secret is persistence. Repeat a thought often enough, with enough emotion, and the subconscious accepts it. This is why constant visualization, affirmation, and gratitude are so powerful. At first, they feel fake. Over time, they become natural. And once the subconscious accepts them, your entire personality, behavior, and life begin to align. Consider how professional athletes use this principle. Before stepping onto the field or court, they spend hours visualizing success. They see themselves making the perfect shot, running the perfect play, holding the trophy. Why? Because by the time they step into reality, their mind has rehearsed it so often that it feels inevitable. Their body follows what the mind has already accepted. The world may see it as talent, but behind talent lies mindset. And that same principle applies to every area of your life. Rehearse success in the mind, and the body, the behavior, and the results will follow. Yet here's the danger. The same mechanism works with failure. Rehearse mistakes in your mind, and you'll walk right into them. Dwell on rejection, and you'll unconsciously create it. Fear it long enough, and you'll manifest it. The subconscious does not distinguish between what you want and what you fear. It simply accepts whatever you repeat. This is why guarding your mind is not optional. Every thought is a seed, and the subconscious is always listening. Feed it weeds, and you'll harvest weeds. Feed it vision, and you'll harvest vision. Now think about your own self-talk. That voice in your head, the one narrating your life all day long, what is it saying? Is it a coach or a critic? Does it remind you of your power or your limitations? Too many people let that inner voice bully them, repeating the worst possibilities, rehearsing fears, magnifying failures. And then they wonder why. Life reflects struggle. But imagine if your inner voice became your greatest ally. Imagine if, every day, it whispered, "You are capable. You are resilient. You are worthy. You are on the right path." Over time, those whispers would reshape your reality. Not because of magic, but because the actions you take when you feel capable are entirely different from the actions you take when you feel defeated. This brings us to one of the most practical steps you can take: the daily practice of intentional thought. Just as you brush your teeth to maintain hygiene, you must brush your mind to maintain clarity. Set aside time each morning to feed your thoughts with the right material affirmations, visions, gratitude. Write them down, speak them aloud, imagine them vividly. Start the day with your mind set toward where you want to go, not where you fear you might end up. And throughout the day, whenever negativity creeps in, switch the channel. Replace fear with faith, doubt with determination, complaint with gratitude. It is not a one-time act. It is a lifelong discipline. But the reward is transformation. And let's address one more contrast: the difference between wishing and thinking. Wishing is passive. Wishing says, "I hope this happens someday." Thinking is active. Thinking says, "This is my reality, and I will align everything in me toward it." Many live their lives wishing, drifting, hoping something changes. Few live their lives thinking deliberately, choosing thoughts that align with their desires. And those few, without exception, rise above the crowd. The world belongs to those who discipline their thoughts. You might wonder, is it really this simple? Can it all come down to thoughts? Yes, but simple does not mean easy. Anyone can think, but few master the art of thinking deliberately. Anyone can desire, but few sustain the discipline of focusing that desire daily. That is why Napoleon Hill's message has endured for generations, because while the principle is universal, few are willing to live it. But those who do become proof that the law is real. So if you take nothing else from this, take this truth: your mind is your workshop. Every day you are building something, whether you mean to or not. The question is, are you building your prison or your palace? Are you constructing excuses or opportunities? The raw material is always thought, and the structure is always your life. The choice, every day, is yours. There comes a moment in every person's journey when they must decide whether they will be ruled by the world around them or by the world within them. Most people choose the first. They let circumstances dictate their mood, their confidence, their sense of possibility. If things go well, they feel hopeful. If things go poorly, they feel defeated. But those who master the principle of thought understand that circumstances are not the cause. They are the effect. They are not the masters. They are the servants. The true master is thought itself. And when you claim mastery over your thinking, you no longer swing wildly with the ups and downs of life. You become steady, unshakable, anchored in an inner certainty that nothing can take away. Think about how rare this quality is. Most of the world reacts to life like a mirror, reflecting whatever happens. But the few who rise to greatness act like the sun. The sun does not wait for light. It generates it. It does not wait for warmth. It radiates it. In the same way, those who discipline their thoughts stop waiting for circumstances to give them hope or confidence or peace. They generate it from within. And because they generate it from within, no storm can steal it. The sun may be hidden by clouds, but it is never extinguished. Likewise, your inner vision may be obscured by temporary difficulty, but once trained, it never dies. This is the power that Napoleon Hill wanted people to recognize. That your thoughts are not fragile daydreams. They are forces. Forces that shape reality as surely as gravity shapes the movement of the planets. And when you understand this, you begin to live with a sense of responsibility. No longer can you indulge in negativity because you understand it is not harmless. It is creative. It is shaping your future. No longer can you speak words of defeat carelessly because you understand those words are commands to your subconscious. Responsibility replaces recklessness, and with responsibility comes power. Yet here lies the paradox. Most people fear responsibility because they mistake it for burden. They think, if I am responsible for my life, then my failures are my fault. And in one sense, that is true. But what they miss is the other side of the coin. If you are responsible for your failures, you are equally responsible for your successes. Respo.